Hey yo, what's up? We're gonna be watching another video today by Ray William Johnson. You won't believe his scam. Now I don't know what this is about, so let's go ahead and get into it. He looks like a pretty old dude. Is he a farm scammer? Is it a Chiflick Bank? You know what I mean? Chiflick Crank? I'm just being silly, but let's get into it, okay? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe not. We're lagging. Can we get into it?
So this guy scams people out of millions of dollars by
like
selling pigeons? Now the guy's name is Arlen, and Arlen's around 33 years old when this story starts, and he's living in Canada, and bro,
okay, there we go. We gotta drop the quality. Is that it? We gotta drop it at 360. Nobody want. Man, I don't want to put the video in 360, man. Let's see if we can do 480.
really loves pigeons. He loves raising them, he loves training them. He also happens to love
Is he gonna be
money.
like the cabbage guy?
Now, he and his family, they have a farm and they raise cattle and pigs and stuff. But what he's really focused on are the pigeons, specifically racing pigeons, which are like a pigeon trained to race. Here's some sample footage of pigeon racing just so you can sort of see what it looks like. And so one day in 1980, the worst thing happens to Arlen. The dude goes broke, and he has to file for bankruptcy.
Why?
So now, in order to earn a living, he has to do farm work for other people just to keep himself and his family afloat.
No.
Now, it's around this time that he starts getting more involved with his local pigeon racing communities. And he becomes a member of several official pigeon racing organizations. And he breeds pigeons and he races them for years. And so decades pass. And it's now 2001.
Wait, this guy was in the hole for 2,000 years? I mean, 2 decades? Or multiple decades?
Time, he decides he doesn't want to be broke anymore. And he gets this idea to start a company around pigeon racing and breeding. But the problem is, he isn't particularly doing anything special to set him apart from other pigeon racing companies. So he thinks the only way to get people's attention is to just lie. So he starts telling people that he's developed his own...
That's an age-old tactic. It's effective. I'm not saying you should, but it's been proven effective, apparently. A lot of people do it nowadays, especially nowadays. Eesh. And any chance they get sometimes.
Genetic line of pigeons, like super pigeons. And these super pigeons are specifically bred for racing, and they're gonna be the fastest pigeons anyone's ever seen.
Placebo pigeons?
So he sets up this company based around this lie, and he calls it Pigeon King International. Then he starts running classified ads in some local farming magazines, trying to recruit some investors. And this surprisingly works. Soon he's in meetings with investors, who are mostly just farmers, but they're willing to invest.
And
he like bullshits these guys. He tells them this whole story about how pigeon racing is huge in the Middle East and that he has contracts in Saudi Arabia and how there's so much money to be made selling racing pigeons in that part of the world. Arlen even brings along a picture of Mike Tyson to these meetings, and he shows it to people because Mike Tyson is, I guess, famously into...
Is it an AI picture? Did he show them an AI picture? There's no way they had like AI back then. He probably just found a random picture of Mike Tyson holding a pigeon.
Pigeon racing. So Arlen tells these investors that he sold pigeons to Mike Tyson before. And these farmer investor guys are impressed and they like believe him. Now, Arlen tells these people that if they buy 2 of his super racing pigeons off of him and breed them, he guarantees that he will buy back all the pigeons' offspring later at a higher price. So they will end up making money off this deal. It's not just buying birds. This is actually an investment, according to him. But regardless, it works. The people are like, sold! So now the money is flowing in, and Arlen is pulling in new investor after new investor.
Never had money,
now,
like, wanting money for the wrong reasons. Honestly, like, I feel like for him, it wasn't the wrong reason. Because it's like, he probably just wanted to take care of his family, right? And I get that. But at the end of the day, like, didn't he already have a business, I feel like? I feel like he already at the beginning of the video, right? Didn't they say he already had a business and it flopped? And then he went back to working on other people's farms and stuff. I get it. But like, why are we scamming? Come on now. Come on now.
Now, in order to keep investors believing that his scam is legit, he is actually fulfilling part of his deal. When the first investors come back with their offspring pigeons, Arlen does, in fact, buy them from them. Then he just finds more investors to sell those baby pigeons to, and he tells them the same lie. So it's like not long before...
It's like a Ponzi pigeon scheme. A pigeon Ponzi scheme. A pigeon Ponzi scheme.
For this pigeon selling scam turns into one big Ponzi scheme, where he buys back the young bird from current investors and sells those same pigeons to new investors. And if you're like, Ray, so what? He's not scamming that much money. How much could a few pigeons really cost?
Thousands.
Well, actually, they cost a lot because each investor buys a lot from him. One family even takes out a loan and borrows $125,000 from the bank to buy 360 pairs of pigeons. So all of this adds up really quickly. And Arlen, soon, he's making millions of dollars off this bird scam.
Yo, the pigeon, hey, yo, it might be time to get into the pigeon game. The pigeon game looking kind of lucrative. But he's scamming to do that, though, so. Yo, the pigeon game might be the next side hustle. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yo, that would be fun. Like, imagine, right, like, imagine, like, how could you spin it so that it's not a lie, right? You could do, like, pigeon racing, but they all have, like, costumes on. They, like, do cosplay. So it's, like, cosplay pigeons. Bro, I'm not tapped in, man.
And things get even worse. Because apparently these millions of dollars just aren't enough for Arlen. He wants more.
Greed, bro.
So after spending so much time telling all his lies about prize-winning super pigeons, I guess Arlen starts thinking that he can make even more money if he makes up a different lie. So he starts telling his investors/farmers that he is going to eventually sell these pigeons that people are breeding to the meat market for people to eat. And that pigeon meat, which is known as squab is going to be the next big thing. And that it's going to be the equivalent of chicken, and that in 5 years, everyone's going to be eating at McDonald's ordering a mixed squab. And surprisingly, this works too. It keeps investors interested.
The what's it called method? The Wolf of Wall Street method. Right now. Now he's doing that. He's selling penny stocks.
More and more people buy into Arlen's scam. And as more people buy into the scam, Arlen expands his company. He hires other salesmen, and they start recruiting people to buy the
scam right there. Literally hiring other people. This is it. He's like, okay, we got something. Let's go ahead and expand
pigeons outside of Canada, like in Pennsylvania and across the American Midwest. So now, Arlen has built a whole community of pigeon breeders. And in 2007, hundreds of breeders are making literally thousands of dollars a year selling pigeons back to Arlen. Wow. And Arlen, he's pulling in a ton of money as well. And so he just keeps building on this Ponzi scheme and building his wealth. Until
get this man out of here.
Until around 2007, when a Mennonite nut grower...
Technically, he's making money, but like, who bites the bullet for this one? It's got to be the newest investors, right? Because everyone who's been in it and who keeps getting in it is like, he's buying back their stuff. So they're not technically losing money on the scam yet. Until it collapses. Then I feel like everyone at the bottom is going to be losing money.
Somehow discovers that Arlen's whole pigeon selling operation is just one big get-rich-quick scheme. And I don't know if this guy buy pigeons from Arlen or what, but the guy figures it out. And he goes and he ends up tipping off this guy, Thornton. And Thornton is like a one-man vigilante. He runs a website where he tries to take down scammers operating things like pyramid schemes and Ponzi schemes and such.
He's cooked, yo.
So Thornton
you get a special PI on you? Nah, and you're moving like that? Nah, he's going to verify. He's going to be like, oh, so how are these special pigeons? How are they being bred for racing?
Very interested in hearing about this super pigeon scam that Arlen is doing. And when he starts investigating and looking into it, he immediately sees that it's shady as hell. And so now Thornton is determined to stop it. And so he gets to work, and he starts posting online all about Pigeon King International because he's trying to warn others about investing. Then he starts hitting up banks and feed companies in agricultural areas in North America and telling them all about this scam and telling them to not get involved. So it seems like he's trying to make as much noise as possible so that he can stop people from investing. And so suddenly, there's a whole lot of focus on Arlen and his pigeon business. And then this local Ontario magazine called Better Farming decides to do a piece on Arlen's business. And they speak with pigeon experts and squab processors and the whole thing, and they conclude the same thing that Thornton does. That it's just highly unlikely that there's this huge market for pigeons that Arlen is over here preaching about.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, this outside looking in could be one of those coin flip moments where it's people think that he's crazy because they don't see the vision yet. But knowing what we know about him, it's just funny looking at it because I'm just yeah, I know he's a scammer. We know he's a scammer watching him. But the people in the scenario, they don't necessarily know. But they do get the clues. But it could just be, one of those .com bubble type things where it's oh, that little box with a little circuit in it ain't gonna do nothing for nobody. And now they're everybody got their iPad kids and all that. But hey, I don't know. Maybe there's a world somewhere where we were all eating pigeon meat if they didn't stop. But we'll never know that one because he's a scammer. And he got caught.
The magazine publishes a 16-page expose on Pigeon King International. And pretty quickly, this article freaks investors out. And they stop buying the birds. And so Arlen goes from not having enough pigeons to keep up with demand to having holding barns full of these birds because no one is willing to buy. And with no more investors coming in, he can no longer buy all those pigeon offspring he was supposed to buy. And so his Ponzi scheme officially falls apart. And in 2008, poor Arlen is forced to close up.
2008 is crazy. Yo, he was running game on 2008. Yo, so the 2008 crash even got the pigeon guy. Crazy work. Hey, America, big wigs in America were scamming too. So, I mean, he was in at the right time. He was scamming at the right time.
Pigeon King International and file for bankruptcy.
Yeah, go ahead and file.
And of course,
that
he takes
boy.
no responsibility and blames everything on fear-mongering and on people like Thornton.
Get up out of
here. By this point, he's taken an estimated $42 million from investors. Investors gave him $42 million for pigeons. Anyway, him filing for bankruptcy causes a trustee to review his finances, and I guess they see some shady Ponzi scheme business going on, and they hand the case over to Ontario police, and so then they start investigating, and it takes a couple of years, but in 2009, the police have built their case against him, and so, bam, they arrest him. And I can't find his mugshot, but here's a picture of him in real life. And so ultimately, he goes to trial, and he decides to be his own lawyer and represent himself, which, unsurprisingly, doesn't go well for him. And he's found guilty, and he's sentenced to 7 years in prison.
Did the kids get some of the money? Can they at least, support the family with some of the money that he took? Because that's the only thing I'm concerned about at this point. Because at the beginning, it said that he was doing it for his family, right? So, if bro's got to take the L, honestly, bro's got to take the L. But hopefully, his kids still get to eat at that point. But that's going to be it for me from the video. If y'all like to, go ahead and leave a comment down below and like and subscribe. And that's going to be it from me. I'll see you later, okay? Yeah, bye.